Hi everyone, and welcome to a pickups video for July 2023. There's a few bits here from the Norwich video game market which took place just over a week ago. I've got some Commodore 64 stuff, I've got some Xbox One stuff, I've got two new subsets as well in there. I've got a couple of items that I got from Fob. Fob was at the Norwich video game market and he was trading, so it was nice to have a little chat with Fob, a bit of a catch up, and yeah, I got a couple of nice things off Fob. One bought a freebie. Yeah, this is the second time I've recorded this. This is take two. I recorded it yesterday. It didn't quite work out, so yeah, I'm going to do a little bit shorter and, you know, hopefully a little bit snappier, because I think I waffled on a little bit too much in the last one. I've got my cup of tea ready. It is early morning, just as it was yesterday. It's a little less sunny today though, a bit cloudier. Anyway, the first thing that I got when we got to the video game market in Norwich, straight away to the right was a stall, big massive stall, and they had these massive white tubs filled with Commodore 64 and Spectrum games, also Amiga stuff there as well. I mean, I pretty much spent most of my time in the video game market just at these tubs, and there were quite a lot of Rabbit Software titles for the Commodore 64, which is the subset that I've started, and it had quite a few of these in the white tubs. Very distinct because they're all red spines, and yeah, so I know Judge Drock, Mark, he has, I believe he has got the full set. Mark is the king of Commodore 64 subsets, full sets. He's got loads. I do remember Mark mentioning Rabbit Software to me. I think he asked me to keep an eye out for one or two titles that he were after, but that were a while ago. I do believe he's completed it now. Yeah, Rabbit Software. So let's start with the first one, which is Cyclones. So Cyclones, if I were to liken it to anything, I would say Defender. They're nothing special. These cases and inlays. I think Rabbit Software quite an early publisher, so the games are not fantastic. There may be one or two games in the full set that stand out a little bit. Mark will be able to you know, tell me if there is, but as far as I can see from what I've seen on YouTube videos of these games, they're not that cracking. Another one we've got is Escape MCP, which is, I suppose it's like a maze game. You control this character, you have to work your way around this maze to the exit, and there's like this letter M following you around screen. I've only seen, you know, I think the first and second level of this game, and there's just that one enemy following you around the screen. You have to time your moves around the maze to get to the exit. So very basic. I forgot to mention that these games they were pretty cheap. Cyclones were £3, Escape MCP were £2. I've got to take the stickers off yet. Next we've got Trooper Truck, and like most games of this era, they usually were clones of other games, like arcade games, and this one looks very similar to like a Moon Patrol kind of game. You're controlling this like moon buggy type of trooper truck, and there's enemies to shoot and holes in the ground to jump over. That one was £3. All these were very cheap. That's why I made a start on them. Next we've got Putty Painter in the Jungle. You control this gorilla, and the only way I can explain it is it's a series of squares, and you have to paint around each square. Each square has a value of different amount of points, and once you've circled, well, once you've gone round the square, encompassed the square with your paint, then you fill that square in. The objective is to fill all the squares in. Again, it's a clone of many games of that type. The cover is a little bit how shall we put it, for this day and age, but you know, this was in the 80s. People weren't as sensitive back then. Next we've got Paratroopers, which is it's quite a fast and frantic game. You control this guy is sat on this machine gun at the bottom of the screen. He can move about, and you're shooting helicopters and planes, and I believe you shoot the parachuters dropping in. I'm not sure if you're supposed to save them or what, but yeah, it's just a frantic blaster. And again, those two were £3 each as well. So for 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Well, the value of those is £15. But when I did get all the games together, he did do me a deal. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the full price came to like £28, and he did me in for 20, which I was really happy about. I don't normally, well, not so much haggle, but I don't normally like to be cheeky and ask for a deduction, you know, a reduced price. But I just says, you know, I've got these, can you do me a deal on them? He was fine. He went, yeah. And he looked at him and weighed it. Oh, he went, 20 quid? I said, yeah, take it. Lovely. I'll take that every day. That's the beauty of a lot of the traders, you know, they are willing to compromise and they are willing to give you a good deal, as long as you're fair with them. So what else did we get? So we got 2 big boxes, double cases, and this first one is Epics. So Epics, as in the publisher, a subsidiary of US Gold, and Epics, as in 4 games which are probably some of the best sellers or better games. We've got Impossible Mission, which, you know, if you do know your C64, you'll know that is a good game. Everybody rates Impossible Mission. Summer Games, again, they did a lot of, Epics did a lot of these multi-event games, Summer Games, Winter Games, Summer Games 2, World Game. They were all really good. And Breakdance. It's funny because I completely forgot about that title. I do remember it. You know, once I'd seen it, I'm like, oh yeah, Breakdance. It's a kind of, I suppose, an early Parappa the Rapper. You know, you've got to do certain moves at certain times, you know, and basically create a fluid breakdance routine. Quite a good game actually, once you get into it. Pit Stop 2, basically, you know, a better man's pole position. As the name suggests, you can go into the pits. Well, you will need to go into the pits to repair your car to carry on the race. So there's 4 games in one, so it's, you know, obviously a compilation of Epic's games. And fortunately the case is a bit yellow. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it's a bit scruffy, it's a bit yellow. Don't think it should be like that, but we can always buy a case swap. I don't think I've got any spare cases at the moment for those. And then next on the big box, or the double case, this is West Bank. This is by Gremlin Graphics, and I've never played this before. Going off the screenshots and the YouTube video I've seen, I suppose it's like Bank Panic. There's 3 doors that open to reveal a character, either an enemy or, you know, friendlies. So obviously the aim of the game is to shoot the enemies, but not the friendlies. And then once you've done that, it moves along 3 doors and gets progressively harder. So probably a good game. The one thing I did notice on the YouTube video was that there was no cursor. So I don't know if it's just light gun game only. Again, I've never played it, so I don't know. Right, I've got 2 eBay purchases for the Commodore 64. We'll just stick with the Commodore 64 to finish those off. This one was dirt cheap. It was like £1 and then £1.50 postage or something like that. This is FA Cup football. It's basically a football management game, text only. Unlike Football Manager, which, you know, had the little stick men with shooting the ball into the nets. This ain't got all like that. It's just got like a timer and stats. It's very, very basic looking cassette cover. It is by Virgin. And then part of the Americana subset, we have got Pacos Pete. Pacos Pete, the High Plains Drifter, and it's basically a series of mini games. You've got desert crossing, gunfighting, beer drinking, I like that one, arm wrestling, and cow milking. Yeah, you've got to pull on those udders and fill your jugs. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, like I said, Fob were there, he was trading, and I didn't realise at first it was only because Big Game Al was talking to him, and Al shouted at me and says, "Oh look, it's Fob here." So I'm like, "Oh hey up, how you doing?" And like I said, we had a little chat, and I noticed these like metal plaques, and I thought these are really nice. I think they were doing them at £15 each. Lovely. I think it's metal. Feels like metal or aluminium. They're just lovely, aren't they? I think they'll go nicely. Oh, wrong way round. Yeah, this is Robocop. This was sat on top of the pile. There were loads of different games and different prints. Well, this one was on top, and I says, wow, that's really nice. And Fob being Fob, he says, "Here, take it. You can have it for free." I'm like, "What? No." I says, he says, "No, take it." He said, because I'd done him a good deal, I sold him a console once. I can't remember what it was, 3DO, Fob, something like that. He said I did him a good price. I would never rip anybody off anyway. So, but yeah, Fob says, "Here, take this." So I really appreciate that, Fob. Obviously get some Velcro, you know, those Velcro strips and command strips that you can get, and somehow put it up in the lockup at some point somehow. And then a little bit later on I went back around, it was quieter, so I managed to get a bit of footage, and I just had another walk around, and I noticed these that Fob was selling, the posters, and he was selling these at £1 a piece. So I grabbed a few, and again he wanted to give me them for no. I said no. I said, "Let me pay for these at least, crikey. You just give me that, you know." You know, a lot of generosity for. Yeah, I got these at £1 a piece. So we've got here the Neo Geo, bigger, badder, better, with a mean looking dog. I won't want that charging towards me. A classic game, as you can tell by the t-shirt. We've got Outrun. Iconic, isn't it, Outrun? Iconic logo, iconic car, iconic music, the iconic machine. Everything about it is just sublime. I would go as far to say, and I do believe that James Retro Import Gamer, he says why, you know, he did a video on why he loves Outrun. You can't argue with him. I don't think it's the best racing game ever made. You can keep all your serious fancy graphics looking simulators. Outrun is just a lot of fun. Next we've got Streets of Rage from the Mega Drive cover, like a Mega Drive type of poster. Again, it's iconic, the artwork. I saw this and immediately thought of Dylan and Eddie, track and field, a good old button bashing multi-event game. Was this a prequel to Hypersports, lads? Can't remember. Or anything to do with Hypersports, just a separate game. It's by Konami. And then finally another iconic cover. You see, you lot think I'm anti-Nintendo. I can't be. I've got this. Donkey Kong. Again, iconic and a really nice poster. Ideally, I'd like to get them framed, put them up in middle lockup again somehow. Don't know how. But saying that, I've still got loads of posters that I haven't managed to frame and put up. In fact, I've still got a big, massive COD poster. I believe it may have been Wooly Weeble that gave me that one. Originally, I was going to somehow put it up on the grid ceiling and my lockup. Just never worked out a way to do it. But I've still got it. I won't get rid of it. But yeah, sometimes the posters are, you know, for me that can't really drill into walls or anything, it's slightly complicated. And then finally, we go on to a subset that Big Game Al is responsible for getting me into. Well, he actually wanted me to get into, start collecting the outright games that he's already doing. He's playing through, he's buying and collecting and playing through for the. I think he's more doing it for the achievements. But we were in CEX in Norwich, and I thought to myself, actually, I haven't actually got any Xbox collections, and I've got an Xbox One here sat behind me doing nothing, and it's funny because it is actually telling me that it wants to be played. You might laugh here, but it's actually haunted. It's possessed. It just turns itself on. Every now and then, I'll be sat playing COD, it'll just turn itself on. And you know, I'm at that age where I talk to things. I actually talk to objects, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Well, I haven't turned you on. Get off! And I've got to turn it back off. And she's even heard it turn on in the middle of the night. I tell you, it's haunted. It's the haunted Xbox One. Anyway, haunted or not, I've got some games for it, and the subset I'm collecting is Team 17, developer or publisher Team 17, and I think it's quite apt really, because Team 17, I do believe, originally started out based in Wakefield, which is only up road from me, so it's pretty local. So yeah, I've no idea exactly how many's in this set, but we're going to go for it. Some of the games look pretty good. Anyway, we've got Worms Battleground. I think there's a couple of Worms games. I think there's Weapons of Mass Destruction, but the one I've got here is Battlegrounds. This one in Norwich CEX. So you know, it's a classic game. It might have even been Team 17's very first official game. It's a lot of fun, especially with several people playing it. And then we've got Flockers, which I've been told is kind of Lemmings style, but instead of lemmings you're saving sheeps. I don't know, I'm assuming you've got little icons which tell the sheeps what to do, whether they climb, jump or whatever, I don't know. But I'll find out when I play it. But yeah, that's Flockers. Interesting. We'll get that played. And then this one was an eBay purchase. So when I got home, first thing I did was look on eBay and see if there were any cheap Team 17 games for the Xbox One, and there was, and this was one of them. I think this was $6.99 or something like that, and this is moving out. I think I'm a little bit wrong in thinking that this is like a Sims kind of game. I think it's more arcadey by the looks of it from what I've seen on YouTube, but either so, I'll give it a go and see what it's all about. But yeah, that's so far. I've got 3 in the Team 17 subset. I do plan on playing them. Got to give the old Xbox One a little run out because it keeps telling me to. Oh, I do love a cup of tea in the morning. I suppose I'll give it a little bit of a channel update then. You know, I'm one of these, I'll go quiet for a bit, can't be arsed doing out, and then I'll get the buzz back again. Eddie mentioned that there's not a lot of people, or don't seem to be a lot of people doing pickups no more. You know, yeah, I suppose fair enough, but you know, I know other people have mentioned it, but you know, his people's finances not stretching that far anymore. You know, let's face it, times are hard at the moment. But I've got loads of ideas. I've told people this, I've got loads of ideas and I just never follow them up. Or if I do, I start them and then I just fizzle out. I've scripted many series and they just never materialise. I've started streaming COD again. I streamed last night with Joe. I must admit I didn't like Warzone 2 at the start. They've made changes, I suppose in a way they've well, I would like to think they've listened to the user base and implemented certain features that made Warzone 1 good. They haven't brought in the slide cancelling, which I suppose is a good thing. But yeah, it's become fun again, and the recent map, Vondel, is a resurgence map initially, and then mid-season they're opening it up as a full map. It's really good. It is probably the best map that Warzone has had for resurgence. The best map that Warzone has had is Verdansk. That's nobody can argue with that. Caldera War, I didn't mind it, I got into it a bit, but yeah, it got slated to hell. Al Mazrah, which is the current one, is based, you know, in the desert. It's not too bad, but it's no Verdansk. Verdansk was the killer map for Warzone. Anyway, so we did the stream last night, did about 2 hours, and that went really well. I think I got up to 7 viewers, which don't sound a lot, but for my streams it is a lot. I don't think I've ever had 7 viewers, so I'm really happy with that. Yeah, there'll be some more pickup videos because I've got some new subsets on the go, and I'm going to be buying for those till those dry up, just like the alternative and other subsets that I'm collecting for. They've kind of dried up. I've reached the point where the games are just so hard to find now that they're just not turning up, especially the alternative. I'm looking every single day on my eBay safe searches. There's nothing. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. I better chug this, better finish this video and finish this tea because it's going cold. But you know, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again soon in another pickups video, maybe in a couple of weeks. But until then, until I stream again on COD, please join me if you fancy it. You know, we have a laugh, me and Joe. We don't take it seriously. So yeah. But until then, thank you for watching again, and see you later.